back, everybody. I'm Mr. Miatanut, and this is Mr. Miatanut World Headquarters. Today we're going to get back on working on the Porsche 911, and we're going to install replace the front driver's side radiator that got smashed in the accident, and then we're also going to install a brand new factory Porsche center radiator kit, and then we're going to bleed out the cooling system. So let's get started. Right here we've got a used radiator assembly that came off of a Cayman. That is actually everything appears to be the same. The radiator is the same. The only thing that's slightly different is this front shroud that we will probably throw away and order the correct shroud to go on the 911 bumper versus the Cayman bumper. So I've already double checked everything. Everything lines up. And but let's check again, and let's line everything up to the car and get this radiator assembly bolted up and get this thing rolling. We'll start by taking off the driver front wheel, and then we'll line up the radiator. Alright, that ought to help us see everything a little better. Roll this radiator over. Pull these hoses back out of the way. Should slide right in. Get the clips lined up. And there we go. So we've got two nuts that go on the back side of the radiator. And we got two bolts that go on the front. Right here. And one on the bottom. And lining up very nice. Get those hands started. Grab my ratchet and let's snug them up. Now I got the radiator assembly attached to the car. Let's take a look at this front center radiator. We're going to do a pre-assembly of this thing on the ground and then fit it up to the car. We've got the new radiator. All right, so let's get the radiator in here. Let me get these. Looks like we got a couple tabs at the very top of the bracket here. Fit those in place. There we go. And we got a bracket that goes on the bottom. There we go. Yeah, this snaps right in the top here. There's one snap on the right side, one in the middle, and one on the left. Got those in place. Now we get those clips back in. We got one clip right here in the top, another clip right up here on the top on that side. There we go. finished radiator assembly all together. Everything appears to line up very nice. And let's see, well, it fits up to the car. I was afraid of this. The Cayman duct for the air duct for the bumper is shaped a little bit different than the 911. So let's pull that off and get that out of the way for right now. All right, we got this 2 bolts here on the radiator shroud. Let's pull those off, one on the top and one on the bottom. Very nice. All right. Snaps out. Woo, that's a little dirty. We'll definitely clean these up before we put the new shroud back on there. Let's put this out of the way. Put these screws back in here so we don't lose them. Let's put this up here, see how this looks. Oh, very nice. Fits right in place. We got 2 bolts on the top and 2 nuts right here on the bottom, and there's a screw right here on the bottom too. Alright, looks like we've got a plug in the radiator here where we got to pull out to put the new hose. We've got the OEM hose here, and then we've got one on the other side too, on the passenger side. So let's set this down and get these hoses situated. We've got the passenger hose here. As you can see, we're using all Porsche factory parts right here. That one's going to go right there. Yeah, that looks which. It's probably going to be, yeah, that's right. That's going to go just like that. See the clips there and there will line up with our clips inside here. Tell you what, let's get a little bit of simple green to help lubricate it. And that's it. That hose is in place now. Alright, now let's go over here to the passenger side. And we're going to pull this clip out of place. I'm just going to go ahead and just take it off again too, like we did on the other side. Put that right there. Get our trusty vice grips in here. Oh, got a little coolant. Tell you what, we'll get a little oil dry. Definitely was not expecting that, but you got to be prepared. So let's try out the new, let's see, check out the orientation there. That's right, let's check this. Let's put this clip back in place here. Alright, now we got that back in place. Let's put it, let's see, which one? Oh, that one's oriented. that's going to be on top. This one had the mark on top. I believe that's going to go on top too. Then we got a dot right there. I believe orientates to the top. So let's get that. Let's put a little bit of simple green on there to help lubricate those O-rings. And we got that snapped in. So there we go. We've got our hoses in place. Now let's put a little simple green on there. And let's pick up the new radiator assembly and get that slid in place. Very nice. Now you can see the driver's side hose. That'll be pretty easy to hook up. Passenger hose, a little tricky. Get this passenger side shroud out of the way. Make it a little easier to hook up that hose. And that'll give us a chance to clean out any other debris over here too. Awesome. Got a temperature sensor here. Plug that, pull that out of the way. Awesome. Set that to the side. Screw there. Set those right here for a minute. And now we can get to this hose much easier. Let's take this bumper reinforcement bar off of here real quick. Take our screws down, set those here, and it looks like probably a 16. Now, that'll make it much easier to get to everything. Put our two top bolts, get the radiator assembly. Right into place. So we got one bolt here on the top, on the driver's side. Get that hand started. Got one on the passenger side. Let's get it hand started. And then let's go back here and let's get our hose. There we go, it locked in place. You can heard the snap. And we got a couple of nuts that came with the kit that go on the bottom here. Got the radiator in place. Let's come over here. Get this hose on the passenger side, driver's side. There we go, just snapped right in. That looks really nice. Now let's get the bumper reinforcement bar back up here. Alright, let's go over here to the driver's side of the car and hook up the main radiator hoses from the car to the back of the radiator. And we're going to hook up these two the main radiator hoses here on the driver's side radiator. First we're going to pull them back out. There we go, got that one locked in place. Pull the bottom one out. Spray a little simple green on it. We've got that hose now snapped in place. The top hose is snapped in place. And then we also have a bleed air hose or coolant hose. It's going to run. Got damaged also. It'll run right here from the, looks like from under the heater hoses, snap into. Yep, got that snapped in place. And we got one right here to the top of the radiator. And got it snapped in place. Everything appears to be fitting quite nicely. So it looks like we now have all the coolant hoses are now hooked up on the front of the car. Let's go to the back of the car and take a look at the bleeding process. And I picked up several gallons of distilled water from the local Kroger, and let's put that in the car and get all the air blood out of the system. Alright, let's put the car on the ground and see about bleeding the coolant system. I'll also have to say, excuse the dirty car, it's been raining like crazy lately, so a little mud from just moving the car around the last few days. Let me hook up the battery and open up the trunk lid. And right over here we have the coolant reservoir. Let's pull the cap off of it. And right now we've got we're just going to put the straight distilled water in today just to make sure everything's good on the coolant system, and then we'll come back and drain it out and put some 50-50 antifreeze mix in it here in the next few days. But let's go ahead and get everything set up. I have my airlift coolant device. Find the right adapter that fits down in here. That one fits pretty snug. Pull this apart. Slow down. This will also tell us if there's any leaks in the cooling system. Got that in place. And next we're going to hook up our air to it. Tell you what, let me get a bucket real quick. Be right back. Alright. So we now have, we've got it down, we're pulling 25 pounds of vacuum, and we're going to let this sit here for about a minute or two while we're getting everything set up, just to make sure it holds the vacuum in the cooling system. And as long as it'll hold it there for a couple minutes, we know that everything's good to go on the cooling system. So let's get our water lined up while we're waiting. started. I'm putting the distilled water in the car. Go ahead and open up all these gallons of water. They'll be ready to go. About it. Just about to zero. I'm going to turn this off for a minute. Pull this hose out. Pull the hose up. Let's see if let it. There we go. And that's it. Now the cooling system's filled up. Let's disconnect everything. You can see, let's check out the reservoir. Yep, and there it is, the reservoir's full. Good deal, guys. Good. Stick the cap back on there. It should be ready to roll now. Close that up. Alright guys, hope y'all enjoyed today's video. We've got a lot accomplished so far. Today we installed the used Cayman radiator on the left side of the 911. We installed a brand new center radiator kit that came with all the pieces, the nuts and bolts, the radiator, the hoses. Got that put in place, and then we also bled out the cooling system and also pulled a vacuum on it and made sure that everything was good to go and no leaks in the system. And everything looks great. I'm very happy with all the progress we're making, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see this thing get going here in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please remember, if you like this video, to like and subscribe to it and to follow us, and also check out our YouTube, check out our Instagram and Facebook page along with our YouTube page. Thank you, everybody. Y'all have a great day.